So he was never the king again.
Yeah, he was never a king again, and so.
Okay. Anybody would agree with that, or disagree?
I disagree.
Who is disagreeing?
I disagree.
Okay, Jyoti, can you just give Jyoti mic and then let's just kind of carry conversation. Why do you disagree with?
He was at the end of the story, Buck became again kind of king, and he was kind of king. The whole pack treated him nice, and his strength was great, and he was kind of alpha wolf.
Okay.
And that means in the wild, that means like a king. He wasn't like he did not have comfortable life like he did in Jasmiller house, but I think like comfortable life only doesn't mean he wasn't king. He was the real king at the end of the story. He was in the beginning he was just treated as king, but at the end he became a real king by himself, like all the things, whatever I have mentioned before that made him the real king. He started to live a real life, and
Wow, she never stops amazing me. Can you give the mic to Hamza? I have a question for him. These are the moments while I'm teaching. This is great. Okay, Hamza, so if you would choose to be the king, would you be the king at the beginning of a story or the end of the story, and why?
The beginning of the story.
Why?
The beginning of the story. Yeah, everything peace.
Peace?
Mm-hmm.
And the only peace? That's all why we were choosing to be the king at the beginning of story instead of the king at the end of the story? So you would choose to be Buck at the beginning story, but not Buck at the end of the story?
At the beginning of the story.
Yeah, why? Just because of peace?
Because of peace and food.
And food?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you give it to Bino? Let's just continue to see. What would be your pick, Bino?
I would choose end of the story, like end.
End of the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
let me tell about the beginning. Like when Bog was at the beginning, he was treated as a king, but he didn't learn anything from that. He just had peace life. That's all. He had everything, but he didn't have learned to be a king. He had to learn like everything, to control. So at that time he didn't learn anything. But after he suffered everything, what he got. I mean, to build a success, So he learned like so much thing that made him more like king type of person. I mean, dog. So at the end, he become like real king. I mean, the successful king because he suffered everything and he learned everything. What needs to be done to be a success, So I think that means.
Thank you so much, Bino. How about Prakash? Would you choose to be the king as Buck at the beginning of the story or king at the end of the story?
At the end of the story.
Why?
As my friend says, like you have to learn everything to become a king, and yeah.
So he earned the kingdom. He
Yeah.
earned the kingship, I would say. Okay?
Yeah.
So now let's just keep your mic with you. So one of the themes are nature and adaptation. Adapt. He needed to adapt to nature to become the king. One of the things he needed to learn the laws to become the king. And you said that you appreciate the king at the end of the story more than at the beginning. So how does the setting of the story relates to Buck and his desire and journey? If he would have been in a different setting, would have been a different story. And how does this setting relates to his desire and his journey? And everyone will answer this question. So what do you think?
Can he answer this?
No, you can do it. So the setting is where? Where is the setting, Prakash?
Different place.
What is the place? Where is Buck?
Klondike, young.
Yeah, Klondike,
Yeah.
Alaska. So how does the setting influence Buck's change and his desire and journey?
Well, it's all about,
How's the nature there? Easy peasy? So tell us a little bit about what are the challenges?
At the Klondike,
Mm-hmm. Is what? Rava? Can you get a mic from Prakash and help him?
So in there, the problem, I mean, the challenges was the weather,
Mm-hmm.
because there was a bit snow, and the food,
Mm-hmm.
and
The first time he saw the snow,
yeah.
and he didn't know, he knew how to, where do I sleep at night? They don't let me go in the tent. I can't be by the fire. So what do I do? What other challenges besides the weather?
All the challenges was like the bad people.
Bad people.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
they hate to. I mean, the bad.
I would agree with you. Can you give your mic to Benita before you, if she gives it to So how does the setting of the story, how does Alaska and Yukon territory relates to Buck and his desire and journey? Since he had to learn a lot, like we all said, to become the king at the end. What was hard for him besides weather and bad people?
Like all learnings.
Hungerness, he didn't have food. Okay, what else? How did he get the food? Let's talk about that. Was he given food all the time? Was he given enough food all the time? Can you give that mic to Jyoti?
If this story was like in different setting, I think it would be very different than what it is now, because Buck might have like happy life whole. I mean, he might like not, he might not go to back to his own primordial things like instincts. He might not develop, he would not develop the primordial instincts, and it would be like, he would be dog and he would not be the wolf.
Okay. So since you mentioned primordial instincts, why does Buck from Call of the Wild continuously envision a caveman by the fire? Why does he have him all the time?
I think because the man, like in old days, I don't know, I think the old
What
days,
does the man symbolize, basically? What does
like
the man symbolize?
ancient time.
Ancient times. What did Buck's relative or ancestors do in that
Wolf.
ancient time? They've been wolves.
Yeah, they were a wolf, and
Yeah. Why were they wolves at that time?
no one was there to care about them, because man and all the human beings were busy to do their own like job, like to feed themselves, and like they were surviving, they were going through all those things. They were kind of uncivilized, and they had to do all those things. If they had the wolf and things like with them, they had to feed them, and they had to all those take care of them. And since they are not since they're not enough food and other things for themselves, and how can they?
So they were all primitive, basically.
Yes.
And they were all in survival, big survival mode.
Yes.
Thank you. Can you just close their mic for a second? Okay, so this is what we're going to do, okay? So I would like my boys to take this table, go over there, and then everyone bring one chair.